welcome to today's training. It's called Winning Recruitment Clients with AI. Again, this is a free training. What we're going to be teaching you today or walking you through today is, I guess, some of the ways that you can be using artificial intelligence, AI, to attract more attract more clients into your recruitment business, to make it easier, more efficient, more streamlined. And we're going to be looking at, was one thing that we've done with a lot of our clients, we've helped them build an AI assistant that works within their business that does a lot of the functions like the outreach, coming up with content, things like that. We're going to help you build that today. I'm also going to give you some of the fundamentals that need to go into client attraction as well. Because I think, there's no point learning AI if you don't know how, you don't know client attraction in the first place. We're going to teach you that as well. Just before we sort of dive into the content, just want to do a quick survey of, okay, question. So the question is, if this is your first time seeing one of our trainings, any of our content, put a 1 in the chat box. If you're familiar with our work, give me number 2. Just want to get a gauge of, I guess, how long we spend on the intro. So 1, if this is your first time hearing from us. 2, if you're familiar with our work. Okay, bit of a mix.
Yeah, real mix, yeah.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So look, there's a bit of a mix. So I will do a very quick intro. So my name's Drew Edwards. This is Terry Edwards. We are the co-founders of Make More Placements. We help recruitment search business owners basically attract more clients. We help them focus on 3 main things. 1, help them get more meetings with hiring managers in your market. 2, how to convert those meetings into paying clients. And 3, how to do, both those 2 things without it taking time and energy resources away from you as a business owner, so you can effectively grow your business and get more freedom as well. So that's the sort of the short intro into what we do. Today we're going to be looking specifically at winning recruitment clients with AI. A quick disclaimer, because a few people have asked. We're going to be we've allowed between 2 and 3 hours today for content, right? So that means we've got things to share with you, but we find all these sessions, the best content comes from the questions that you asked. So for the next sort of hour, 2 hours or so, we want you to be fully engaged, right? Ask any questions you've got about client attraction. Anything that's unclear, let us know. You can use the chat box to let us know, anything that you need to ask as well. And again, so we want to sort of get an agreement for you. That's okay. Give me a yes if that's okay. If not, it's fine. That's fine as well. But feel free to leave. We want people that are going to be fully engaged for the next 2-3 hours or so. People are going to come with questions. People that want to know. People that want to improve. If that's you, give me a yes in the chat box. I do want to hear from all of you. If it's not you, then that's fine as well. Feel free to leave. We can part ways as friends. Awesome. Good to hear. Good attitude. Hi, Inez. Hi, Matt. Seeing a few familiar faces here as well. Perfect. Terry, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think one of the things there, I want you all of you, you're in business, you're recruitment business owners. But I want you for a moment to imagine that you've now got the opportunity to recruit a business development person or a salesperson to join your business. And this person that you're going to recruit, they will always do as they're told. They will work for you 24/7. They will do whatever needs to be done that you tell them to do to generate business. And you'll never, ever fall out with them. They're not going to run off and join your competitors and take all your data with them. Literally, this is what AI will do for you. Now, here's a question. You don't need to answer this, but here's a question that you need to consider. If your competitors start using AI better than you, how long do you think before your clients notice that? Because here's a fact for all of us, including you. One of the main reasons you haven't got the business that you want right now, because the clients who could work with you have never, ever heard of you. That's a fact. As popular as you think you are, as well established as you think you are, the majority of potential clients have never, ever heard of you. And very rarely, it does happen, but it's rare that a client that you've never, ever heard of reaches out to you on your website or, I'd say Yellow Pages, which is showing my age, but however, and will give you a call and says, "I want to do business with you." That very rarely happens. What does happen is if your clients know of you and know what you stand for, know what you can do, even if they don't reach out to you, but you reach out to them and you give them a call, as an example, rather than them saying who, they will say, "Hi, I know who you are." Think about what that would mean to you. The amount of recruiters that cold call every single day. The average hiring manager, by the way, gets between 8 and 10 cold calls a day, every day. So in a month, they hear from about 200 recruiters. Most of them they've never heard of. But imagine you could stand out from the crowd, and when you call them, you go, "Hi, my name's Todd, my name's Julia, my name's John." And they're going, "Oh, hi, I know who you are." That's the difference that AI will make to your business. And by the way, this isn't fairy tales. This is what our clients are experiencing right now. Admittedly, it's what we experience as well. We say, "Hi, this is whoever from Make More Placements," and we wait. And we know that if we say that to you, you go, "Oh yeah, I know who you are," or "Hi," not who. Back to you, Drew.
Awesome. Again, someone check in. Does that make sense? Give us a yes or no in the chat box. Let us know you're following along. If you've got any questions, let us know as well. We're going to dive into the content in just a minute, but before we do, one thing I want to make you aware of, just to show you the power of AI. So so again, a lot of you would have seen our content before. A lot of you would be on our email list. A lot of you would be on our socials like LinkedIn or whatever. We made a point for this particular presentation to do all of the build up, all of the promotion for this workshop, including the notes that we're going to go through today, has all been created by AI. So all the posts, all the Facebook posts you've seen, all the LinkedIn posts you've seen, all the emails you've received, has all been created and sent out with AI. Our sort of input at this stage has been minimal. Right? I just wanted to sort of get that across to show you the power that you have at your disposal. Right. So if you with the content that you've got already, with the calls you've had with past clients, calls you've had with past candidates, you've already got the data there that we can feed into AI, so it starts working like your very own business development manager. Again, so when check in, does that make sense? Give us a yes or no in the chat box. We're going to show you how to do that today. And if it doesn't make sense, let us know. If you've got any questions, let us know as well. Terry, anything to add before I sort of...
Nothing to add. I do want to repeat, if you've got any questions or anything that we say, please let us know, because our goal is to help you share with you how to use AI. But if we say anything that doesn't make sense, so you don't even agree with, that's absolutely fine. Just let us know, and we will, I promise you, answer your questions. But if you can imagine your ideal client is like an iron, and AI is a magnet that attracts them faster, but only if it's pointing in the right direction. It's got to be pointing in the right direction. What would your client attraction look like if you never, ever had to write another cold message manually again? You never had to do it again. So intellectually, I suspect a lot of you know I should be doing more emails. I know I should be posting more frequently. I know I should be reaching out to my potential clients. That's time consuming. I don't know what to say. And I know I should be positioning myself as an authority, and I don't know what to say. You're not alone in that. Many recruiters don't know what to say, but the smart ones are using AI to write it for them. So they position themselves as the authority. They're reaching out to potential clients on a regular basis. They're posting on social media platforms on a regular basis, but they've got somebody doing it for them.
I just want to do a quick check-in. Who here is already using some form of AI for client attraction specifically? Right, so give me a yes if you are, no if you're not. So who here is using some form of AI for client attraction specifically? And again, I want to hear from sort of a handful of you just to hear what you're doing. So who here is using AI for some form of client attraction, right? So yes or no if you're not as well. And Terry, you can go to sort of 2 or 3 people just to hear how they're using that at the moment, just so we can get a gauge of the room.
I can't see the chat. Oh, sorry. No, I can't see the chat, Drew. That's what I'm looking for. Can't I see? Oh, hang on a minute. My apologies. Charles is using it for social media. Yeah, so if we can come to you first of all, Charles. Sorry about that. Charles, if I can come to you, just for you, what you're using it for. Charles Hip. Can you
Yes,
hear
I'm
me,
here.
Charles? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Hi, Charles. Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, so just tell us where you're using it and how you're getting on with it, please, Charles.
So primarily for LinkedIn posts, social media posts, content generation, at least to get me started. And then from there, I can edit some ideas, but I have not used it for, specific contacts to clients. So I'd love to hear how you're doing that.
Right. And out of interest, how frequently are you posting on social media?
Probably, I'm trying to do at least once a week, but ideally it'd be every day. Once a day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And think about that. I don't know the exact figure. So let's stay with LinkedIn. If you think about the biggest organizations, the likes of Virgin or Coca-Cola or whatever, and they're spending millions advertising to their potential clients every day. So if you go home tonight, you'll see the same ads 2 or 3 times a day. And it's literally cost them hundreds of thousands, if not millions. And something like LinkedIn, you can post on LinkedIn 7 days a week if you want to. It doesn't cost you anything. But what it is doing, it's putting you at the forefront of your hiring manager's mind, day after day after day. I keep saying this. It's the reason you're not getting the business that you want right now is that you're not the forefront of your client's mind. And this AI has just transformed all that. The changes some of our clients have had with just using AI. They're getting clients reaching out to them just from using AI. And we're going to share with you some of the things they're doing, so you can get hiring managers who you've never met that will actually reach out to you. Look, I don't want to take Drew's thunder away, so I'm going to shut up now. But thanks for sharing that, Charles. Really appreciated for
Sure.
sharing that. Scott, can I just come to you? Because you're Scott Hubble, you're using it for basic research, new vacancies, and who knows. Just share what you're doing, please, Scott.
Yeah, so predominantly sort of chat GPT, when daily searches that it emails me results for sort of projects that are being announced. And then research on potential people to contact that I may not be aware of from LinkedIn and bits like that.
Can I just check in on that, Scott? So you're finding out projects that have been announced, and you're using chat to get the names of the decision makers that you need to reach out to. Is that what you're saying?
It tries to. It tells, but it will tell me. So it will scan the web and tell me any announcements that have come out of any project that I may
I
have
see, yeah.
missed from news. But then on the back of that, I've got it to run a function where it tries to find or all names from those articles and any contact details it can find too.
Great. And once you've got that information, what do you do? What do you do with those contact details? What do you do next, Scott?
Try and reach out to them directly myself, and kind of take it from there. But if there's any sort of automated function that can do that, I think it would definitely be beneficial.
Right. So you get the information, and when you say reach out to them, you reach out to them via the phone.
If I've got a number, typically they're high end, so numbers or direct contact numbers are harder to find. So it's probably email addresses that I send over to.
Great. Yeah, we're going to cover some of that, and also some of the things that you need to be saying to potential clients. Because one of the classic mistakes that most recruiters make is when they reach out to a hiring manager, they say things like, "Hi, my name's Fred. I'm a recruiter. I've been doing this for 20 years. Our mission statement is this. We do this. We do that." And it's all this. We do this. We do that. And literally, you're weeing all over your copy. And the thing is, your hiring manager's got zero interest in you. And I'm not being rude. They really have no interest in you as a recruiter. All they're interested in is their problem. And again, AI can show you how to write copy so it resonates with the hiring manager that you reach out to. Because if you can get your message to resonate with the hiring manager, you're going to get their attention. If you send them a message telling them all about you and how long you've been in business and here's our website, and they really couldn't care less. But again, AI can show you that. Back to you, Drew. Thanks for that, Scott. Really appreciated.
Perfect. So the first part of this training today, I'm going to go over 10 things that every recruiter ought to know about using AI to win clients. So 10 things every recruiter ought to know about using AI to win clients. Part 2, we're going to sort of show you how to build a recruitment client machine in your business to give you the fundamentals of attracting clients. And then part 3, I'm going to show you how to pull those 2 things together so you can get an AI assistant working for you to do those things. Right. So first thing you need to know is AI won't replace you, but recruiters who use AI will. So AI won't replace you, but recruiters who use AI will. Right. So probably go back a couple of years now when AI first started coming about. There's a lot of sort of hype, a lot of talk, a lot of fear with a lot of recruitment and search business owners that AI was going to replace a lot of their functions. Right. And I think the truth is, AI for recruiters who use AI has made your jobs a lot quicker, a lot smoother, a lot easier. It's meant that we can have smaller teams and be more efficient. It's meant we can get better results with less time, less energy, less effort, right? But if we're not adapting to that, if we're not using AI, we're going to get replaced by recruiters that do, right? And I think specifically when it comes to client attraction. When me and Terry talk about winning clients and winning recruiting clients, right? One of the sort of the basic ways to put it is you want to be the first person to think of when your hiring manager is ready to buy, right? So we can't create demand necessarily. We can't make it so we can't force a hiring manager to buy, but all we can do is make sure we are the first person, we are top of mind when that comes about, right? I guess on check in, does that make sense? Give me a yes or no in the chat box. You want to be the first person the hiring manager thinks of when they come to buy. Perfect. And a lot of that comes down to, the vast majority of that comes down to visibility, right? If we can create more content, have more eyeballs on our content. So, every single day, Terry was talking to, I think it was Scott, who's, doing social media posts with AI. If we can make sure that we can, our hiring managers are seeing our posts, seeing our content, seeing our videos, seeing our emails every single day, so that when that need arises, when, someone hands in a notice, when the company needs to expand or the project needs to expand, or whatever happens, we want to be the first person they think of, right? If we are not that first person, we lose. One of the biggest obstacles holding you back right now is obscurity, right? Your ideal clients simply do not know that you exist. One of the powers you can have with AI, because we can create content so quickly now. We can get it out so quickly now. There really is no excuse for your ideal clients not to know that you exist. Guess one check in. Does that make sense? Give me a yes or no in the chat box. And anything you'd add to that, Terry? And any questions you've got as well, let us know.
Yeah. So one of our clients said to us, AI is like a sat nav, isn't it? And remember the days before the sat nav, and if anybody here has been driving with a partner, so you've got your partner reading the map and you're driving, or vice versa. If you ever want to have a fallout with your partner, do that. One person reading the map and the other one driving. Never ends well. But all that's gone now because we've got sat nav. But sat nav won't drive the car for you, but it will show you the quickest route. It's going to warn you for those delays. It's going to help you avoid those blind spots. That's exactly what AI is like. It's like the sat nav, and you're not going to. And I don't know if you do this. You do a post, you're not sure whether it's good or whatever. That's all based on your opinion. It's a bit like your partner giving you instructions as you're driving the car. I think my wife used to say to me, "I think we should turn right here." I should say, "You're reading the map. Please don't tell me what you think. Tell me what we should be," and we'd fall out over it. But not anymore. The sat nav says turn right, so you turn right. When you do a post now and it's done by AI, you're quietly confident that this is gonna resonate with your market. Whereas previously you weren't really sure. It's one of those, I think we should turn right here. It's gonna transform your business. There is no excuse now not for putting content out there. Any questions, by the way, let us know. We will answer your questions. Back to you, Drew.
Yeah, let us know if that makes sense. Give us yes or no in the chat box. So number one is that AI won't replace you, but recruiters who use AI will. Right. So again, your goal today is I want you to make sure you're using AI daily for your client attraction. Number two is AI only works if your message is right. So AI only works if your message is right. And what I mean by that, there's two things I mean. One, I think a lot of recruiters have, I guess, cloudy messaging. It's not clear who they're going after. It's not clear who their ideal clients are. So you want to be, one, really clear on who our ideal client is, and two, we want to make sure AI knows that if we're going to get the right content for us. But secondly, if we're going to be using AI, again, who here, give me a yes or no in the chat box, who here has seen those, is it a post that's done by AI, and you can clearly tell it's done by AI, or the comments done by AI, and you can clearly tell it's been generated by AI. Who here has ever noticed that, right? So what we want to do is we want to avoid that. And that comes down to training AI. AI is great if you train it, right? If you don't train it, it looks looks and sounds like a robot, right? And again, when we first started using ChatGPT to write emails or to write content, you could tell, right? It didn't sound like us. You could tell, like we could tell difference, a prospect could tell difference. Now, again, because we've trained it to speak and communicate how we communicate, that you can't tell the difference. Again, that's the stage we wanna get to. Again, I just want to check in if that makes sense. And again, look, so Morgan said here, like the dashes. So one of the telltale signs with ChatGPT is the dashes, right? Again, that's sort of the basic level. Sometimes you'll see people who have removed the dashes, but it still looks like a robot, right? So we can remove the dashes, that's great. But ideally, we want it to just speak like a human, speak like we speak. Again, so check in. Does that make sense? Give me a yes or no in the chat box. And Terry, anything you want to add to that?
It just reminds me, when I got some training on AI about a year ago, one of the things they said was, talk to AI as if it's a human. So you literally say, this is what I want to say. So going back to you communicating to a hiring manager, this is the outcome that I want. This is who I am. I'm a recruiter in this market. These are the challenges that hiring managers are facing. The reason you know that, because you speak to hiring managers every day. So AI's got all that information. And this is what I want to communicate to the hiring manager. And this is the outcome I want. Because often people write stuff and it's like, blah, 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 blah. And it literally is that, but there's no outcome. So the person reads it, the hiring manager says, whatever. But what if you were to have, you said, this is a call to action. Well, I want you to do, Mr. or Mrs. Hiring Manager, I want you to go to this link here, click on this link, and let me know what your biggest problem is now when it comes to attracting top performing, you insert the job title. It will, AI will tell you exactly how to communicate that message to your decision maker, rather than what you often see is it's just this blah, 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 blah. We do this, we do this, we do this. People read it, so what? Because often when you're sending out a message, you want a response, but you've got to ask for the response. Otherwise, you're not going to get one. But now you can say to AI, this is exactly what I want you to do. I want them to do this. I want them to click on this link. I want them to just come back with a yes or a no in this message. Whatever it is that you want, you tell AI exactly what it wants to do. And the more you tell AI, and the better it gets to know you, going back to what our coach said is about talk to it, if it talks to you, the better it knows your personality and what you're doing. If you give it all that data, the better the response will be from AI. I think you're going to cover this through garbage in, garbage out, as you'll see a bit later on. But that's really important. Again, Drew, I've got to be careful not stealing your thunder. So I'm going to shut up now because I know you're going to cover all this in due course.
Yeah, again, it's fine. Again, if you've got any questions, let us know. And again, Terry, I'm happy to take your guidance as well in terms of direction we go. Again, for you guys listening, we want to make sure you get all you want from this. So again, and in order to do that, we need questions from you, right? So if anything you're unclear of, anything specific you want to know, let us know in the chat box. We're happy to answer. We've allowed time to give you what you want, right? So if you're serious about attracting more clients into your business, again, think about, what could I be asking Terry and Drew right now, and the audience in the room, to get the answers we want. Number 3, just very quickly, is AI can make you look like a marketing machine. So again, we spoke about the importance of omnipresence, right earlier on. And I think it was Scott who was saying that, ideally tries to post weekly, right? With AI, we really have no excuse not to be there every single day. It takes we write emails every single day. We write content every single day. It used to be a time that took us hours. Now it takes us minutes to do it for the whole week, right? And the same for you. If you are not there on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on via email, you're not there in front of your ideal prospects, you've got no excuse anymore, right? So the recruiters who take to listen to that advice and now become a content machine, they're going to be the ones that win the clients. They're going to be the ones who the clients know, the clients love, the clients like. If you are not doing that, you're going to miss out. You're going to get left behind. Again, someone check in. Does that make sense? Give us yes and no in the chat box. And Terry, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, just that you've covered the basics there, like emails and and social media. But here's some of our clients are doing things like getting AA to write. So some of our clients are doing podcasts. So what they're saying to us is, these are people I'm going to interview. By the way, they're interviewing decision makers in their market. I want to ask thought-provoking questions that will stimulate the listeners, but also engage the person that I'm actually interviewing as well. Think about that for a minute. So now they've got weekly podcasts going out to the target market. But is relevant to their target market. We've got another client that works within manufacturing in North America, and there are a number of online newsletters. He's reached out to these newsletters saying, I will write articles for you in the newsletter, because it's his target market. The people that are reading these newsletters are ops directors, manufacturing directors. That's exactly his target market. So he's now reaching out to them and offering to write articles on a monthly basis to all these people. And as you said, previously when you had to do this, honestly, it was a bit of a pain. You say, I've got to do this, on Friday or whenever it is to get these articles. Now you think, I'll get this done we'll show in a moment. I'll get this done in 5 minutes, probably not as long as 5 minutes. So our particular client, he's picking up these monthly now, simply by writing articles. And he's really clear about what he wants. So he gives advice on how to ace your next interview, get this free report and discover how to ace your next interview, how to attract top performing, insert the job title, and get that edge over your competitor. He's writing articles about that. He's positioned himself as an authority in his market. Those newsletters are going to thousands of his target market every single month. And all he's doing is putting information in and it's getting it back within a couple of minutes. Another question, what would that mean to you if you were communicating to your target audience at least 3 or 4 times a month, every month, and you position yourself as an authority? Because what it means for Sean is that he's getting phone calls from hiring managers asking for advice about hiring. He jokes about it the other day. He probably turns down more business than he accepts because he gets offers to do recruitment in areas that he's got no idea, so he can turn it down. But he's deciding who he's going to work with, when he's going to work with, and what the fee is going to be. That's his decision as a recruiter. For many recruiters, that isn't the case. But he's positioned himself as an authority by using AI. Back to you, Drew.
Again, just let me know if that makes sense. Give us a yes or no in the chat box. And Julia, can you unmute? Can come to you for your question.
Yes. If we got to keep posting stuff, and I know you just said 3 or 4 times a month, but that's a lot of I suppose we want it targeted at the hiring managers, not just at the candidates. So it's not going to be stuff about interviews, I guess. But it's even with AI writing it, if we're doing that several times a week, say, which might be ideal to start with, it's a lot of ideas to come up with. What would you suggest?
Julia, can I just say on this? Sorry, Julie. You don't have to come up with the ideas. AI will do it for you.
Oh, even the ideas?
Email. Yeah. Ask AI the relevant question. It will come up with it. If you've got to type in what's the biggest challenges for hiring managers in my mind, and whether your market is, I don't know your market.
Editorial, B2B editorial and healthcare communication, so 2 separate markets.
Right. And it will come up with a load of challenges that they're encountering right now.
Yeah,
right.
you don't. In fact, can I share screen?
Yeah.
I'll give you an example of this, right? So, and again, this comes down to training AI on your market and who it is you're trying to attract, which we're going to show you how to do a bit later on. But once you've got that, so this is our ChatGPT. We've got a project. It's called Daily Emails. If I could say, look, write me about, right? So simple prompt. Again, this is once it's trained. I'll quickly read this out. So it says, write me an email about winning clients using the metaphor. It says, ice cream van that never moved. Again, I was reading this live, so this is not pre-planned or anything. When I was a kid, there was this one ice cream van that used to park at the bottom of our street. But the strange thing was it never moved. Same spot every day. It just sat there, engine off, music off, window shut. And the shocker, nobody brought ice cream from it. Meanwhile, the other van, the one that moved, it blasted music, it showed up where the kids were, football pitches, school gates, parks. Guess who made all the sales? The recruiter equivalent of a fun ice cream van is the one who posts once a month on LinkedIn. Waits for referrals just to happen, sends a newsletter when they feel like it, hopes clients will magnetically appear because they've been in the industry for a long time. But in today's market, silence is invisible. The recruitment business owners we work with are showing up daily. Their content sounds like them, not like ChatGPT with a haircut. They're booking meetings every week. They're filling roles before their competitors even get briefed because blah blah. So I'm not going to read it all, but you see, Julia, like it doesn't take me long to come up with that content. If I want to write a month's worth of LinkedIn posts, emails, I have to do that 30 times effectively. But I could just say in one go, write me 10 emails, write me 30 posts, right? So the coming up with the content part, and again, we can show you how to create this sort of the project in ChatGPT, isn't the thing that's going to take you a long time anymore. Again, so we're checking with everybody else. That makes sense. Give us a yes and no in the chat box. Terry, anything you want to add to that?
I just want to check in with Julie. Does that make sense, Julie? Does that answer your question about just how simple it is? Yeah.
I'm trying to try it.
Good.
Perfect. Awesome. Terry, do you want to give us a few other questions? Yeah, can we go to Todd Throats?
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry, Drew, I can't see the questions again. Hi, Todd. Good to see you again, buddy. What's your question?
Terry, hi, Terry. Yeah, I was wondering,
Hi,
do you have any information on private AIs, like private ChatGPT, et cetera, where you can upload resumes, job postings, any of your company data to drive content from your own personal data?
Yeah, you can just do that with ChatGPT.
So is it a private ChatGPT or I don't
When you
see
say
how-
So
private,
what is it? Is it your what information is you want to keep private? Just to make sure I understand what you're saying.
resumes, placements, fees, etc.
Yeah, so look, you can upload anything you want to ChatGPT really data wise. You can also delete whatever you want as well. With resumes, are you talking about like you want to keep the person's private data, like contact details private, that sort of thing?
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So what I would do
Without having to delete it.
without having to delete it, I would tell ChatGPT that's what I wanted to do. So I'd say, can you store this except for the name, email address, contact details?
Okay. Is it a
That makes sense.
private chat GPT? Did
When
you
you say
create
it's
a
a
private
private,
one
what
for
do you
your
mean?
company?
I'm not sure what you mean
Yeah,
by private
it's
type.
only you who had the login can access the data that's in there.
Okay.
If that
Okay.
makes sense. Is that what
All
you're
right.
asking?
And just to get the special across to everybody else, you tell GPT what you want. You tell chat, this is what I want. So I want you told the example, and I want this kept off. But you remember I said about the training that we had is talk to it, communicate to it, not talk to it, like you're talking to a human being. I want you to do this. I don't want you to do this. I want you to do it in this style. You can, you could don't do this by the way, but you could say, write me a post in the style of William Shakespeare, and it will write you a post in the style of William Shakespeare. If you, but there's no purpose in doing that, but you get the point. Whatever you want it to do, you just tell it what you want it to do.
Okay. Thanks.
Awesome. Can we go to where was it? Tamara Washington.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Drew. So after leaving a big agency where we're using all of their tools, now I'm by myself with another coworker, and now we're trying to use like Zoho and Apollo. And I don't know, like I know I'm doing a lot of overthinking, but like my problem now is that since I was this big agency where everything was kind of like done for us, now I'm trying to like do it myself. So I guess, like I said, I'm overthinking it, but now I'm trying to figure out like proper email sequence, like if I can't get in contact with them, now I email them. So I'm having a problem with like proper order. What am I calling? What am I emailing? And how am I automating? And the tools are really just confusing for me. So I don't know. If my question even makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. It's sort of slightly off topic, so I'll sort of answer briefly. Like, are you asking like when should you do what in sequence in terms of trying to attract clients? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like if I'm gonna
So
send them, hey, I want to talk to you about this client, if they
yeah,
don't respond, then what?
but there's no real rules on that, right? So look, we've got to remember that with as much as it's annoying sometimes, we're dealing with humans, right? So some people are going to respond better at different times to different things. Someone's going to respond better to an email, someone to a LinkedIn post, we can't really predict that. What we want to do, as we sort of touched on, we want to make sure we create an omnipresence, right? And this is where AI can probably come in. Every platform that your prospects are on, and this goes for everybody, by the way, any platform that your prospects are on, we want to make sure that we are there, right? Because if we're not on the phone and they happen to be the one that responds better to phone, we're going to lose a client. If we're not sending them emails and they respond better to emails, but our competitors sending them emails and we're not, we're going to lose a client, right? So bear that in mind and think, what, I want to be omnipresent, right? I want to have different content going to them in different platforms and different forms, knowing that one of them is going to be the one that sort of hooks them in. And I don't know which one that's going to be, but I want to make sure that I'm not letting any slip through the net. And then we can sort of build out a system from there. Again, but there is a difference between sort of automation and AI as well, which we'll cover. But you want to make sure that I'd make sure is that I'm everywhere my clients are. So if they're going to these events, I want to be at these events. If they're on emails, which most people are these days, I'm sending emails. If they're on LinkedIn, I'm sending LinkedIn. And then again, the cadence in terms of how often you send that really depends on your market. And make sure you've got something to send again, which AI can help with. Terry, anything you'd add to that?
No, nothing to add. No, nothing to add to that. No.
May I ask what tools you guys use for automation?
We use a tool called Placement Box.
Placement Box?
Placement Box, yeah. Placementbox.io is the website.
Yeah, we can send you we'll put the link in here in a second.
Thank you.
But as Drew said, AI will do the sequence for you.
Again, someone check in for everyone
everyone.
else. Does that make sense? Give us a yes and no in the chat box.
Yeah, can we just get to a few people?
Yeah.
Ronan has made a good point about the paid version of chat. So if we just come to you first of all, Ronan, just so you can just for the recording, just share what you've just put in the chat there, please, Ronan.
Hi everyone. Yeah, so on the free version of ChatGPT, the trade-off is your data is curated to train the model. So if you're using a free ChatGPT and you're putting any personal data or CVs with addresses on it, it was certainly in Europe, you're breaching GDPR because that information is now being shared with the ChatGPT company. If you have the paid version, it defaults to sharing the information. So you actually have to go into the settings in your ChatGPT and turn the tab. There's a tab there that says improve the model for everyone. It's very sneaky. It doesn't say share your data. It kind of says we're improving the model for everyone, but you have to turn that off. Once that's turned off, then your data is not curated and not taken up. So that's how you protect your data on ChatGPT.
Really appreciate that, Ronan. Yeah, and in fairness, what we're going to be showing you is for the paid. You can get the free version, but what we're going to show you is for the paid version. Something we're going to show you. So yeah, really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Back to you, Drew.
Perfect. So number 4, again, we're going to go back to things you need to know about AI. Number 4 is you can train AI to sound like you. The way you would do this is what we want to do is we want to give AI a bank of your tone, your phrases, your personal stories, your rhythm, right? We want to feed that into, so that's how we're using ChatGPT in this case. We want to feed that into ChatGPT. So one of the best ways you can do this, right? If you've already written content before, this is on LinkedIn, Facebook posts. And again, when I say written content, it doesn't have to be about business. This is anything you've ever written, right? So personal emails, whatever. Any content you've written before, you want to feed that into ChatGPT and train it. This is how I speak. This is how I communicate. Could be as well personal stories. Again, so we went and asked ChatGPT, look, if we want to write content that contains personal stories, what questions do you need to ask me to get an idea of who I am as a person, right? And it'll ask, so it'll ask, how many kids you've got, what you like doing at the weekend, what your hobbies are. It will ask you personal things, so it can then incorporate that into your content, right? Again, so when checking to make sure that makes sense, give me a yes and no in the chat box. Any questions on that, let me know. But we can train AI to sound like you if we give it that information.
There's a question here from Francesca. Oh, sorry, it's gone.
No, still there. So yeah, Francesca, do you want to unmute?
Hi, how's it going?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, great, thank you.
Yeah, so is it the last one that I put in around?
Yes, yeah.
What prompts do you use to train it?
Yeah, so basically, well, the way again.
Sorry, hang on, I've just lost. Sorry, my head. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I've heard before about training ChatGPT to sound more like you, because that's probably something that I struggle with.
Yeah.
Because I do use it for quite a lot of social media posting. So I think what I tend to find I struggle with ChatGPT is the actual nuts and bolts of what you're saying to me. So when you say you need to train it to sound like you, what do you physically put into ChatGPT to make it sound like you? So would it be a copy paste of a LinkedIn post and say, hey, this is how I sound, remember this moving forwards? How do you feed that in?
Yeah, literally that. So the way I would do it, if in fact I'll sort of share my screen. So I want to share my screen. So yeah, basically that though, at a basic level, you wanna feed it the information you've got. We've got what we've done, and again you can do this on the paid version of ChatGPT. We've got a folder called, I think it's called I don't even think it's called Sales Vault, right? Sales V. What this is our project that we just feed data into. So what we've done, it can be old LinkedIn post, old Facebook post, old any old content you've got. What we've also started doing though, which has worked really well, is we record our client calls. So when we have a coaching call with a client, a sales call with a client, so you can do it with calls with clients, calls with candidates, whatever. You obviously, a lot of you have already got like Otter AI or sort of the Fireflies AI, the software that records the transcript of the call. We can then input that into ChatGPT as well, and then it's going to pick up how you speak normally, right? It's also going to pick up your client challenges as well. The more data it has on that, the more accurate it's going to be, and more accurate the output's going to be. It's not something that's going to happen overnight necessarily, but the more you train it, the better the feedback you'll get, if that makes sense. Terry, anything you want to add to that?
Sounds
Yeah. So one of the questions. Sorry, Francesca, far away.
Sorry, no, I think my headset, I just got delay on it. Yeah, I've actually just started using Fathom for recording interviews, which has been quite game changing. And I never actually thought to upload it to say, this is me.
Yeah.
Sort of use it as an avatar. So that's a really good simple thing to do. And I think that's what I struggle with. It's the things that are probably quite simple to other people that you might just not think of yourself.
And I think you say that. I think a lot of people are exactly the same as you. It's
Yeah.
about training on this to know how to do it, and then there's people here who probably that was the first time thinking of that as well. But for anyone here who's got Fathom, Zoom has its own sort of AI. Any software you've got that transcribes your calls, you can take that, feed that into AI, and that will not only teach AI how you speak, but also how your clients speak as well. Which then gives you better content going forward.
Yeah. So for anyone else who was looking at that, because I looked at Quill and I'm a solo recruiter trying to keep my overheads really low, and that was just not sustainable. Microsoft Teams does transcribe stuff as well. I just quite like that Fathom is quite a low price point, and it actually does an AI summary, which is quite helpful. So just thought I'd share that.
Perfect, thank you.
And look, here's the thing for everybody. Although you're recruiters, again, Drew's going to give some more details. The clients don't want the recruitment; they want the solution that recruitment provides. So here's the question that if I've met you, a question that I've asked you, if I could help you overcome the number one challenge in your business right now, what would that be? So I ask every single client or potential client I talk to that challenge, what their number one challenge is. My apologies, and it's going to be around time, lack of, team, underperforming team, and something to do with money, sales zone. But it's going to be around those three problems. But I put all that data into chat. So we know the main challenges for recruiters. Here's a question for you. Do you know the main challenges that you're solving with your recruitment for your hiring managers? So very briefly, my background, I did IT recruitment many years ago. So I would engage with the IT director, and they wanted project managers to ensure that their projects were delivered on time and to budget. That's what was keeping them awake at night. There was no chat then, there's no AI then, but that's the data I want to put into chat. This is a problem that IT directors are having right now. Projects not being delivered on time and to budget, and the impact that has on the business. So it's going to impact the bottom line, and the impact that's going to have on the CTO or IT director. Because that's the problem they want solving. They don't want recruitment; they want the problem they have solving. So that's what you want to put into AI. So if I wasn't doing it then, but I can then talk to, if I send out a letter to IT director, I'd say, if you're anything like the IT director I speak to on a regular basis, one of your biggest challenges right now is ensuring that your projects are delivered on time and to budget. Because if it's not delivered on time and to budget, it impacts on the bottom line. And let's be fair about it, it also impacts on your career as well. It doesn't have to be like that if you've got the right team in place. Now, if you're looking for top performing project manager is what I used to recruit. But do you see the shift in the language? It isn't about me and how long I've been in recruitment. Nobody cares. It's about the problem that the IT director has. What's keeping him or her awake at night? And that's the question that you need to be answering. What's keeping your decision maker awake at night? So you ask the question and then put that into chat. The problems that they're having right now. And then you can ask chat for the solutions around what you do. Now your copy is going to resonate with the hiring manager. Back to you, Drew.
Does that give us a yes or no if that makes sense? Bill Carp, if you want to unmute, honestly, you've got a question there. If it doesn't make sense, let us know as well. Any questions, let us know.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, I think that actually Francesca kind of asked the same question and you answered it. I was just curious as to logistically how to actually kind of feed the information into ChatGPT or whatever the AI device that you use.
Yeah. So just sorry, Terry, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So this is in a project. Most of them have so every project in this is ChatGPT. This is you can add files here. We can click this one here to add files and photos. So if I click this, I can then add files from my desktop. So what you would do is you'd grab you'd either, let's say it's a Fathom recording, whatever. You download that to your desktop and then you upload it here. Or if let's say you've got like a Google Doc, you can just paste the Google Doc in here, or you can literally let's say this for example was a transcript of the call. I'd select all, copy, and then I'd drop it in here like that as well.
With the instruction that, you know, this is how I write, this is
Yeah.
the message I want to convey, this is, you know, the tone I like to use, something like that.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
It's very straightforward. That again, so I'm checking for everybody else. That makes sense. Yes or no? Let us know.
Thanks very much.
Carrie, anything you'd add to that?
And nothing to add, Drew.
Cool. Sorry, Julia, do you want to unmute just to ask that question? Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm.
Yeah, so once you've identified what the biggest problem facing hiring managers is, and
Yes.
and then you've asked for the solution, and you know you've got your copy, to, you know, because people don't always look at what's on LinkedIn. Are we going to be putting this together as a newsletter, or you know, putting it out on Twitter, or just as many places as possible?
As many places as possible, really. Like, so again, this is I think I remember it was asked earlier on. We want to create omnipresence, right? So we want our prospects to see us everywhere. We want to create the I guess the illusion that we're a bigger company than we are, right? And the way you do that is with content, right? 10 years ago you couldn't do that, and that's why the big companies used to win. Now, even if you're a solo recruiter, I can make it look like you're a team of 10, because the content we've got out there is far outweighing even the bigger firms, right? So that's what we want to do. We want to be Twitter, anywhere your clients have eyeballs, your prospects have eyeballs, you want to be there. So it looks like, okay, you know what, Julia's everywhere, right? We need to speak to Julia. She knows what she's talking about. She's always providing great insights about the industry, about the market. She's the person we need to speak to before we think about pulling the trigger. And that's the sort of illusion we want to create, and you do that with omnipresence.
One other secondary question, and maybe this is something else, but because I'm recruiting for 2 different markets at the moment, it's a little, you know, it's keeping the focus, but I guess just lots, you know, maybe 2 posts where I would do 1.
Exactly that, and it's gonna take the same amount of time, really.
Yeah.
Probably what I'll do in your situation, this goes for anyone else as well, I'll create 2 projects in ChatGPT, one that's aimed at one market, one that's aimed at the other, because they'll have effectively a different set of instructions, a different set of hiring manager challenges, if that makes sense. And then I'd go into each one to create different voices and different types of content that meet that market.
So do you mean using 2 different ChatGPTs?
So let me share my screen. So this is with the pay version of ChatGPT. What you can do is you can create what are called projects. Screen share. Sorry, Terry, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So you'd have different projects. So you'd have one for one market, one for another, and that way. So rather than this is just our market here, when you write an email in one folder, it will write in a particular voice targeting a particular set of challenges, because each project has got a different set of instructions. So one set of instructions will be like, hey, so this is ours, for example, like you're a dedicated business growth partner with 10 years experience helping me, Terry Edwards, run Make More Placements, coaching and consulting business for recruitment and sales owners, right? So you'd probably change this bit for each market, if that makes sense. And then it's going to come out with different content, different angles based on who it is you're trying to target. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Harry, anything you'd add to that, or any questions?
Nothing to add to that, Drew. No.
Cool. Sorry, Terry, can you see the chat box now? Because I'm sort of sharing my screen and trying to get to the questions.
Can you share more random instructions? Yeah. There's a few. My apologies. First of all, Francesca, can you open your mic and just share your question, please?
GPT quite a lot. And I think one of the things that I struggle with is probably the prompting side, because I'll sometimes find that, so the niche that I work in is ingredients, food ingredients, which is very, very niche. And sometimes the copy that comes out of ChatGPT isn't quite hitting the mark, or it can be quite vague. So I think the thing that I'm quite interested in is the prompting element. So how do you have a certain framework that you use with your prompts to make sure that it's ticking all the boxes? And I've recently upgraded to the chat version, the paid version, and just started using projects, but probably not optimizing them. So again, that instruction piece, I tend to just say, just give it to me straight. I don't like fluff and compliments. But it would probably be much more helpful to do what was just shared then by Drew. So again, I think any frameworks about the instructions and the prompting would be really, really helpful.
Yeah, perfect. Great question. So in terms of like the projects thing we'll come to, because I'm gonna actually teach you how to build that exact project that we've got. So bear with me with that. In terms of prompts, and Terry sort of touched on this earlier, you want to treat ChatGPT like it's a person, right? Like an actor, paid actor. When and in the sense that whatever you tell it, it's now got that set of knowledge. So if I was trying to write better content for your market, I would say I'd log in ChatGPT and say act like a so whatever job title you target, like so act like a CEO within food ingredients with 20 years experience. What are your typical key challenges that you face on a daily basis, right? And it's going to give me all the challenges that someone with 20 years experience, and again, that's going to, so the 20 years experience is going to vary based on who it is you're trying to target, but I'm going to make it sort of aimed at who I'm trying to target, if that makes sense. Is that, sorry, Francesca, does that make sense so far?
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah, so act like whoever it is I'm trying to target with this many years experience, write me, give me your top 10 challenges that you face on a daily basis, and then I'll probably use that to create some sort of report that's aimed at those people. Yeah.
Okay. And do you guys have a framework that you specifically use with prompting, just in general across the board?
Yeah, that is it. That would be it. The framework would be like act like whatever I want them to act like. But again, it depends on what. Right. If you can give me a better idea of what output you want, I can give you a better idea of the input. But I'm not. Whenever ChatGPT is writing content, it's not creating content with my mind. It's creating content with the mind of the people I'm trying to attract. Because they're going to know your market, their challenges better than you ever will, and better than AI will. So sometimes one of the mistakes people make is they're trying to write content. They're trying to get ChatGPT to write content from their mind. Does that make sense? But your clients have got better knowledge. Yeah, your clients have got better knowledge than you have. So you need to set it, not act like you, act like my client with this many years experience. That way you're going to get not generic stuff that you're probably going to come up with yourself. You're going to get stuff that actually your clients have got in their head that you wouldn't have thought of, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense, because one of the prompts that I use is, act like an executive headhunter.
Exactly that. Yeah, you want
to. And then I look at the content. I'm like, this is shit.
Yeah, you want to steer away from that, because that's you already, the thing with AI is really, really good, but you need to, it's like Terry said earlier, so the input defines the output. You already know that you already are executive headhunter, right? So it's anything you tell it to, when you tell it to act like that, it's going to give you back what you would have said anyway. So it's going to always feel generic, right? If you say act like my ideal client with this many years experience, but even go above, so let's say that you're hiring for managing director, even go above that and go, CEO level, it's going to be really impressive to managing directors.
Right. Yeah. Got it. That makes.
If I'm writing content for recruiters, I'm not saying write in my voice. I'm not even saying write like with a recruiter with 5 years experience. I'm like write with like a recruiter with 20 years experience who's exited multiple companies. That way, the content I get back is going to be really advanced.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Above who you're trying to attract. Terry, anything you'd add to that?
Yeah, you've got it absolutely spot on. What you said there. I'm going to repeat myself. Anything that we're saying, and it's not making sense, let us know. Just want to check in with you, Francesca. Does that all make sense now in terms of?
Yeah, it does, because I think, like I say, I use it a lot, but then sometimes it just feels like it's not the wonder tool that I've been told, but clearly it's just the prompts that I'm giving it.
Yeah, we work with a few people in the food ingredients who are using it, and they get some great results. So I'm quietly confident if you use it that way, you're going to get those kind of results as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Just want to check in everybody else. That making sense? Give me a yes or no in the chat box. And yeah, Francesca, I'm going to sort of come to the project a bit later. Just going to sort of
perfect
fundamentals of contracting before we get into that.
That's fine. Thank you.
Awesome. Terry, are there any questions I've missed?
Yes, the same. Margaret, I'm always nervous to go to Margaret because I've known Margaret for a long time. She always has a dodgy mic, but we'll give it a go, Margaret. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Oh, crystal clear. Fantastic.
Well, my question is very similar actually to Francesca's. It's probably just my prompt now that you've spoken it. I'm asking it to speak from me, whereas I should be asking for the opinion of somebody else. But my whole one was, I've just recently got the paid JTPI as well, and taken a wee bit time to get used to it now, but I'm super impressed with the scheduling and everything. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that comes out, you're like, oh, and then you're changing quite a lot of it. So I see now it's what I'm telling it. It's my prompt. It's my prompt that I need to work on more than what I'm getting back out, because I'm still asking it as a recruiter, whereas I should be asking it as a client. I get that.
Yeah, and here,
That now.
yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, and here's a good point for everybody. Keep saying this yourself. My target audience don't care about me. So me
Yeah.
telling them anything about me, they honestly don't care. All they care about is the problems they're having right now, which will be around time, team, and money. So let me establish what their problems are right now. What's keeping them awake at night? And write me some copy that's going to tap into the problems that they're having right now and how I can help solve those problems. So if you can just keep reminding yourself, they don't care about you, don't talk about yourselves, zero interest in what you do. But they have a lot of interest in themselves, as we all do. We all care about ourselves and the problems that we're having. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Thanks.
So let me just go around those. I want to go around to a few people and get a few. Question is, what's your biggest takeaway of what we've covered so far? So I'm going to come to a few of you. Darren, I'm going to come to you first of all. John, Todd, what's your biggest takeaway so far for you, Darren?
Probably what we covered just then. I'm quite new to most AI, to be honest with you. It was probably only yesterday afternoon that I used ChatGPT for the first time, just sort of exploring with it. So probably the way that you talk to it, and the last bit was really helpful in putting your mindset not from myself but from your client or whoever you're trying to create the content from was probably the biggest takeaway so far for myself. Teaching how to use it, really simplified, way of being able to use it.
Yeah, excellent. And you say you've only just got chat. Well done for doing that, because there's a lot of recruiters out there that haven't even got that far. So well done you for actually getting that and having a go. Fantastic. Thanks, Darren. Come to you next, John. John Golding. Biggest takeaway for you, sir?
I think for me, it's just being consistent with it, and obviously, utilizing it as people have been saying, sort of asking it to, sort of mirror the way you talk to it, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's been the biggest sort of learning curve for me, is to not come across as ChatGPT-ified, and obviously taking out emojis and all that type of stuff, because as soon as the emojis hit my page, I'm like, right, that's ChatGPT. Let's take that out. So yeah, I'd just sort of say that. But I know, obviously, because I've utilized ChatGPT for a long time now, if I ask it to do something related to my industry, it will pick up mechanical recruitment within hazardous areas. So straight away, it sort of works for me. But I just need to utilize it more.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks for that, John. Yeah, by the way, John, I think that applies to a lot of people. Just utilize it more. And I think people don't utilize it more because they don't know how to, or what else they can be doing with it. It's just lack of knowledge, and it's one of the reasons we're going to put this on today. Appreciate that, John. Thank you. Sorry, Todd. Good morning, Todd. Sorry about that, buddy. Yeah, biggest takeaway for you.
Todd Froats, or there is another
Yeah,
Todd
sorry.
on here, I believe.
Oh, is there? My
Biggest
apologies,
takeaway being don't let perfection get in the way of action. So definitely use it more. I'm definitely one that does not want to send daily, but I need to send more frequently. And to utilize the Chat GPT for ideas, put your own content in and let it spin that. So definitely use it more. I think action. That's the biggest takeaway.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks, Todd. Tamara, I see you've raised your hand. So we're coming to you next.
Yes, just my very quick question is that when Margaret was speaking, I'm not sure if she was speaking about Chat GPT or a different tool that has a scheduling tool. What was she talking about?
Margaret, do you want to answer that? What you mentioned about the scheduling, please, Margaret?
Yes, you can just ask it to schedule a whole week's posts for you. It'll do it. It's not a tool. You can just ask it to schedule a whole week. It's done it for me. I mean,
Mm.
not all of it is brilliant. I'm still getting used to it and still trying to work it. But yeah, done like what I should put out on Monday, what I should put out on Tuesday, what I should put out on Wednesday. It was revolutionary.
Thank you.
Mm. And here's another one. If any of you turn up for work each day and is like, shoot, what do I do today? Go and ask chat. This is what I do for a living. This is the results that I want. How should I schedule my day to get the maximum benefit for my day? And it will create a work plan for you. But you have no excuse. It will tell you exactly what you should be doing on a daily basis each day. But yeah, thanks for sharing that, Margaret. Thank you. Back to you, Drew.
Awesome, perfect. Before I'm going to sort of dive into building a recruitment client machine in your business now. It's coming away from AI a bit, but I want to make sure you've got the fundamentals of client attraction before we sort of go back into the how you utilize AI to do it. But just before I do that, I just want to check in. Is it all making sense so far? Give us a yes or no in the chat box. Any questions? Let me know as well.
So we're going to get into the marketing now, because ultimately what you want to be doing is attracting clients to your business. And in our experience, most recruiters and most recruitment business owners are very good recruiters and have no challenge whatsoever in finding top candidates. But here's a challenge you got. For most of you, you've never been shown how to market, ever. And you've just kind of done, well, this is what I did at my old company. We used to market NPCs or, flip candidates or whatever, or we did some cold calling. There's another one. Or we rely on referrals, or I just use my network. Look, and I'm not saying those things don't work, but there's a lot more you could be doing. So clients are coming to you. There's a lot more you can be doing. So when you reach out to a client, they're open to having a conversation with you. And especially for you guys, if you're a contingent recruiter and you're saying, I'd like to get more retained work, but when I ask clients for retained work, they sort of laugh in my face. Again, think about that. If you're one of the guys that we're working with, who works within food ingredients, I think his average fee is about 40,000. So he's getting a retainer of 15,000. Imagine I reached out to you and said, look, you don't know me, I don't know you. Will you pay me 15,000 up front before I find this role for you? So you're kidding. It's just not going to happen. Why would you do that to a stranger? If I knocked on your door and said, pay me so much money up front before I do your landscape gardening, it's not because they don't know who you are. But when you've got a marketing campaign in place and you're reaching out to them on a daily basis and you're offering high value content, you position yourself as the authority, you're enhancing your own credibility. It's having those kind of conversations. It's almost, they expect it now. They expect that you're going to want essentially the fee paid up front, and there's going to be less pushback. And then if you don't get that fee up front, at the very least, getting on an exclusive basis.
Yeah.
If they know you, because every hiring managers, by the way, they want certainty. They want to know, if I give this job to you, you're going to deliver on it. Well, if they've never heard of you before, they can't have that certainty. So if you take the attitude now as we go forward, the sale starts before you meet the hiring manager. It doesn't start when you meet them for the very first time. It starts with all the information that they've got from you before. Here you are on this conference right now. But reflect on how many emails you've got from us. And you're probably not even aware of this, but we email 7 days a week. Yes, we do email Saturday and Sunday. We post on LinkedIn every day of the week. We know that you don't see every single message that we post, but we've got to be at the forefront of your mind. So then when we say to you, come and join us for this summit, it's going to be, 2 hours, 3 hours. You're not like, who are these guys? Why would I do that? It's like, yeah, I know who these guys are. Because it started before we started talking to you. It's exactly the same for you. The sale starts before you meet the hiring manager. Back to you, Drew. Let's show them how to generate leads and get clients coming to them.
Perfect. Just before we dive into that, so again, like Tony said, we're going to go into sort of the fundamentals of client attraction just now. Before we do that, we've created sort of a few resources for you for today. I don't think we'll have time to go over them on this call, but if you go to makemoreplacements.com/talk, you can book a 15-minute fast track to more placements call with us. What you will get is you'll get a 10 most used prompts. 10 most used prompts that recruitment search designers can use with ChatGPT. We're also going to get a top 10 list of the AI tools that we use for our clients as well. So that's makemoreplacements.com/talk. You can get those 2 tools there. But let me dive into the marketing side, right? So there's again, we didn't mention at the start of the call. We've got a book called The Recruitment Client Machine, available on Amazon. But in that book, we talk about what it takes to build a machine in your business that attracts clients on autopilot. We're going to sort of give you the fundamentals of that now, so we can show you how that you can plug the AI into it, right? So number one, the first thing we need to be clear on is your market. And again, sounds sort of straightforward, sounds simple. I think for a lot of you, the business that you'll build, like the revenue will actually you'll achieve, like your capped revenue, your most the highest you'll be able to go, is a lot of that is heavily reliant on the market you choose. So a lot of the revenue that you've got now, or the struggles you've got in your business, is linked back to the market you choose. Right? We want to want to make sure that in your business you've got a market that the roles that you recruit for are mission critical. There's a high need. There's a lot of need there, and again, the salary's high enough that we can hit our revenue goals. Again, just want to check in if that makes sense. Give us a yes or no in the chat box. And Terry, anything you want to add to that? We want to make sure we've got the right market. You're going after the right market with your messaging. Perfect.
Nothing to add, Drew.
Perfect. And what we can actually use ChatGPT to help us get a clearer picture on that. Again, we want to go back and ask ChatGPT, like, are these are the roles I recruit for? Are they mission critical? Especially in the times where the economy is changing and shifting a bit. If you're when the market contracts, the non-mission critical roles are the first to go, the first to get put on hold, the first to get put by the wayside, right? You want to make sure that all the time you're working on mission critical roles, no matter what's going on in the economy, that the roles you're working on, are mission critical. Again, so let me know if that makes sense. Terry, anything to add before we move on?
Not at this stage, Drew, no.
Awesome. And again, like Terry said right at the beginning, your goal with your market is, you're either going to fall into one of four categories. You're either going to be adored by them, ignored, hated, or obscure, right? Most recruiters sit in the box of being obscure. We want to make sure that our ideal clients know who we are, know we exist. One of the roadblocks you're going to have to that is people are scared of being criticized, right? You're probably scared to put content out right now, scared to push more. Someone said, I'm not going to do daily, but I need to do it more often. People are scared to do daily because they're scared of the criticism they'll get back. But if you're not being criticized, it's likely you're going to be ignored or completely obscure, right? Being ignored or obscure are the two worst places you can be with your ideal clients. You want to be ideally you want to be adored, but we can't be adored by everybody, right? We have to accept that. So we either want to be hated or adored, right? Yes, want to check in. Does that make sense? Give me a yes or no in the chat box. Terry, anything you want to add on that?
Yeah, just on that, because it's really important that you kind of get out of your own way. And I'm going to give some examples. Donald Trump is adored by some people, he's hated by others and ignored by others. It doesn't stop him. And look, this is not a political broadcast here. Mother Teresa, she did a load of good work, but she had a lot of enemies. Whoever you have, anybody you can think of, they are either loved, hated, or ignored. That's a fact. Whatever you do. But if you're ignored and you're obscure, you're not going to get the business. And it's worth remembering this. Whoever you are, you're not here to please everybody, because you can't. It's impossible for you to be loved by everybody. Nobody ever is. So you've got to sit with that and go, that's okay. But it's very much like a lot of recruiters think that they're here to serve every single hiring manager. You're not. You can't. You can't be all things to every single hiring manager in your market. Some hiring managers will say, hey, well, we'll work with you. We'll pay you 7% rather. We'll pay you in 120 days. And we want a 6 month, guarantee on the candidates and that sort of ridiculous thing. Now, you can complain about that, but it's also worth noting you don't have to work with them, because you don't have to work with every single hiring manager that you talk to. It's your business. As it's your business, it should be your rules. You should be deciding who you work with. So please get comfortable with some people will completely ignore you. Some people will absolutely adore you. And some people will hate you just because of the color of your shirt or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's normal. And by the way, think of the people that you love in the public eye. You know that some people that they don't feel the same way about them. Think of the people that you hate for whatever reason in the public eye. You know there's people out there that those people that you hate are the people love. That's just the way of the world. Back to you, Drew.
And in fact, good content polarizes audiences. Like, so again, one of the ways you can tell AI driven content is that it's not really polarizing, doesn't really give an opinion. I think someone used the word generic earlier, right? So we want our content to be polarizing. So we move away from being obscure or ignored. We go into this side of the sort of the quadrant, if you want to call it that way, and we're deliberately polarizing audience. Like we're pushing away the prospects we don't want and attracting the ones we do simultaneously. We want to make sure that AI is doing that for us. Again, so let me know if that makes sense. Give me yes or no in the chat box. If not, let me know as well. The other thing,
here's an example. One of our clients, recruiter wrote. In fact, he sent me the text in it. Let me just share this text with you. But he deliberately wanted to get a reaction. So he said this to his audience. Apologies if I can find it. No, I can't find it. He said something like this. It's a post that's on LinkedIn. If you're looking for the cheapest candidate and price is your priority, please stop reading this because this isn't for you. If you want the top 5% of candidates within fintech, this message is for you. Now, he's been deliberate there. He will deliberately repel the hiring managers that buy on price and price alone. And he's made it quite clear, this isn't for you if you want the cheapest candidate. If you want the best candidate, please continue reading this post. Will he piss some people off? Probably. But the people he's going to piss off, he doesn't want to work with anyway. He doesn't want to work with a hiring manager that wants the cheapest candidate. You're all experienced recruiters. You know this already. You can't have the cheapest candidates and the best candidate. It's either one or the other. And if it's a business critical role, where's the logic in trying to go for the cheapest candidate? Well, HR only pay 18%. Great. The top candidates that I'm placing, our fees are 28%. So I'll leave that with you. That's absolutely fine. Back to you, Drew.
Okay, so we've got market. Next, we have media. Right, this is the platforms or the places that we are getting our message out to our ideal market. Right. So, what media are you on right now? Again, there's media really falls into three main categories. There's media you own. This is like your email list, your brand recognition. This media you own. You've got media you borrow. That would be your LinkedIn contacts, for example. So this is media that you can access, but ultimately LinkedIn, for example, they could shut your account down tomorrow. It's gone, right? So that's media that you're borrowing, and then you've got media that you buy, which would be things like paid ads or any paid advertisement, right? Your goal is to get. So let me just write that down. We've got own, borrow, buy, right? There's three types of media. Your goal is to get people off platforms that you borrow, buy, and get them onto platforms that you own, right? We want to get as many people as we can we want to get as much data, much control of as much data as we can, right? Because if you've got your CRM using LinkedIn as your CRM, for example, you get shut down tomorrow. Anywhere that you're not got control of that media, we lose, or that data we lose. Again, someone check in. Does that make sense? Give us a yes or no in the chat box. Terry, anything you want to add to that?
No, not at all. Not at all. Thanks for your message, Todd. Just for your message. And yes, you will, to answer your question, Todd.
Perfect. Then we've got your message. Again, any questions? I know I'm going through this quickly. Any questions on any of these, let me know as well. Just want to make sure you've got the fundamental understanding of what recruitment client machine looks like. Then we've got your message, right? This is that, effectively what you're saying, what you're putting out into the market, what we're getting AI to create for us. And I think it's important for you to know. So sorry, there's a question here. Morgan, you want to unmute just to ask that question? Ask that question, sorry.
Hi there. Yeah, so I understand the own and the borrow bit. What kind of platforms do you mean when you said buy? I think you mentioned paid ads.
Yeah, so like for example, like LinkedIn, pay per click, or LinkedIn, any LinkedIn advertising or Facebook advertising, any way, anytime you have to pay to get your message in front of that market. So it could be a paid podcast advertisement, or it could be a paid magazine advertisement, whatever. Anytime you have to pay to get your message in front of a particular market, that's media that you buy.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, great. Cheers.
Perfect. Any other questions, let me know as well. So we've got message, right? And you've got under message, you've got this is basically what we're saying, how we're communicating with our market, and you've got there's five levels of awareness that we talk about, right? And sort of one of the problems that you've got right now as a recruiter, a lot of recruiters don't put any content out at all, but sometimes the ones that do only sort of touch 1 or 2 levels of awareness. We want to ideally be hitting all 5 of these. So first level is what unaware, and I'll explain what these in a second. Are in a second, right? Unaware are people that aren't aware of the challenge they have, and what I mean by that is, if you think, again, it's going to be different for every market, right? And Terry, I hope that you can help me explain this better, right? But what we do, what you do as a service you provide is recruitment, right? But the outcome that you provide is, if you think about what do your candidates do when you place them into an organization? What do they give to that organization, right? What is the outcome you actually provide, right? That's what we actually do. That's what we sell. It's the outcome. People don't really want recruitment. They want the outcome of recruitment, and they have, unfortunately, they have to go for us to get it. But what they really want is they just want the candidate. They just want the end goal, right? Again, if I want to check in, does that make sense? Give me yes or no in the chat box. Terry, anything you want to add to that, just to make
Yeah,
sure
so if you think of yourself, or not think of yourself, you are most of you are recruitment business owners, and what you want is more sales. But imagine that I'm a rec to rec guy. You don't want rec to rec really. You just want more sales. You want to increase your sales. So what I should be doing is talking to you about increasing your sales, not about recruiting another consultant or business development manager or whatever. So you're unaware that the business development manager could probably solve your problem. Sorry, let's get this right. My apologies, Drew. You're unaware that there's a problem with your sales at the moment. Then there's problem aware. So you're now thinking, our solutions, our sales are down, or we want to grow this year. So we know what the problem is. The problem is that we need more sales. If you want to do the next one, Drew, solution aware.
Yeah, so solution aware is that we're aware of the possible solutions, right? So one of them might be to recruit somebody, one might be to bring in more training, one might be to, there's lots of different solutions for depending on what market you're in. Product aware is that they've seen your offer, right? They've seen your offer, they've seen your pitch, and then we've got most aware, which is where they basically when we're on the brink of buying, right? People don't really pull the trigger on recruitment until they're problem aware or most aware, in terms of they don't put the vacancy out there, they don't think about recruitment specifically until they're at that problem. But there's most of your market going to sit in this bracket here, where they're unaware, problem aware, or solution aware, right? So for example, if you are a sales recruiter, there's lots of your hiring managers right now who aren't thinking about recruiting another salesperson, but every single one of your hiring managers want to increase their sales, right? All of them do. Again, so check in, does that make sense? Give me yes or no in the chat box. And again, this varies depending on what market you're in. There's gonna be a space where, most of my hiring managers aren't thinking about recruiting, but they all have this problem. And this is a problem that can be solved with recruiting, right? Sometimes when we write content, we're only writing content that speaks in this sort of space here. People that are thinking about recruiting. So I think it was Francesca that was asking about the prompts. When we write prompts from a recruitment head, all the content we come out with is going to be recruitment based, right? But what we want to do is go beyond that or beneath that and write prompts based on the challenges that our hiring managers are having right now, or ideal clients are having right now, and we're going to get a lot more in-depth content and a lot more content that sort of cuts through the noise. Because whilst everyone else talking about recruitment and it sounds like a recruiter, we're sounding like an actual expert in this space. Guys, let me know if that makes sense. Give me yes or no in the chat box. If not, or any questions, let me know as well.
So go back to me to being a rec to rec guy. So me saying to you, are you a recruitment business owner and you'd love to get more meetings with the hiring managers? Because if you could get the meetings, you'd get more sales. But your big problem right now is that you can't get to speak to enough hiring managers. And the impact this is having on your business is XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. So my conversation with you is about the problem aware rather than offering a solution. Because I want you to be aware and go, yeah, I do need more meetings with the hiring managers, because if I could just get to speak to hiring managers in my market, I know I'd get more business. So I'm not talking about doing the recruitment for you as a rec to rec guy and bringing in the consultant or a business development officer, business development person. I'm talking about the problem that you're having right now? Lack of sales, not talking to enough hiring managers. Back to you, Drew.
Cool. So number 4, we've got irresistible offer, right? So we want you, or you want to create an irresistible offer for your ideal prospects, right? This is something that they can get access to, raise their hand and get without them exposing themselves to a sales call, right? So a few examples of an irresistible offer would be this summit, for example. You join for free. We're going to show you how to get clients with AI. There's no risk for you, don't have to pay for anything, but it gives us a chance to demonstrate our expertise. Or it could be a PDF, right? Again, you've probably seen us offer free PDFs, maybe even done some yourself. It could be a free podcast, anything you can give away for free in exchange for their contact details, right? We want to have that in our marketing mix. If you're someone said food ingredients, right? So we've got a few clients who work in that space. If I've got a report that's called 10 things to do to grow your food ingredients business, and you're just trying to talk about recruitment, I can offer my report for free and cut through the noise again and get more interest where you're trying to talk about recruitment all the time. Again, I want to be the first person they think of when they're ready to buy, and we're going to use the irresistible offer to do that. Just very quickly, let me show you how quick we can do this with AI once it's trained. How do I stop sharing? 2 seconds. Sorry, just let me check in while I sort of do this. Anything? Did that make sense? Give me a yes, no in the chat box. Anything to add to that, Terry? While I sort of get an example up here.
Yeah. So, anything? 3 questions I want to ask is this making sense? And if you've got any questions, let us know. I'll come to those first of all. So, I'm just going to do this off the top of my head. I'm a rec-to-rec guy, so my irresistible offer to you would be, as recruitment business owners, 7 ways to increase your sales, 7 ways to increase your recruitment sales over the next 6 months. Get this free report. That's what I'm going to offer you. It tells me that's what you're interested in. So we've got you to raise your hand. From your point of view, you're thinking, what have I got to lose? Remember we said before, the sale starts before you actually meet them. So if I offer you this irresistible offer, although we've never met, your attitude is, well, I've got to lose. I get this report, but it tells me that's something that you're interested in, and I may have the solution for you. And for you to get that report, we're going to ask you for your name, your email address, and your mobile number, because that's all we need from you right now. It's perhaps not quite the same example, but not a bad example. In the UK, you guys from the UK will know this company. There's a company called Verisure, and they do alarms for houses. And about 3 or 4 years ago, they did an ad on Facebook where they said, get a free camera phone. I thought, fantastic, free camera phone. Where do I sign up? Bearing in mind I'm a marketeer and I know exactly what they're doing, it never entered my mind. So I filled in the details. What do they ask for? My name, my email address, and a telephone number. And they said, fill this in and we'll get the free camera phone, free doorbell camera rather, to you shortly. Fill it in. Probably within 30 minutes, I get a phone call from Verisure. Oh, is that Mr. Edges? Yes, it is. Oh, we're just giving a call about the free camera phone that we're going to send to you. Fantastic. That's great. Before we do, we need to come to your house and give you a survey to measure up. And I said, well, there's no need. I'll fit it. No. We have to measure it up to make sure. And we'll also give you a quote for an alarm system. Yeah, okay. My attitude still is it's a free camera phone, so it's a camera doorbell. So why not? So enough, they came around probably 3 or 4 days later. Before I know it, I've signed up for the whole service. It cost me, I think it's £45 a month, this whole alarm system. But they followed that process. They wanted to identify people that were interested, get them to raise their hand and indicate their interest, and take it from there. Now, the same applies to you. You could send that offer out to 1,000 people. I can promise you the majority will ignore you. You might get 15 people respond, but they're the 15 people that are interested. That's all that matters. That's the irresistible offer. Let me just get back to you, Drew. Because I see you've done the report here very quickly.
Yeah,
While
again,
I've been talking,
just let us know if that makes sense. Again, just based on what Terry said here, and again, we've trained AI to do it. That's why it's going to come out with better content than what yours might do right now. But we're going to give you how to do this as well, right? So I just literally used an example. I said, write me a report called 7 Ways to Increase Recruitment Sales Over the Next 6 months, right? And it's ChatGPT has given me a report based on what it knows that we would say, based on what it knows our philosophies are, what our ideas are. So it's not generic. It's actually based on what we would say. And again, not some of it was actually said during this call. If you look, So stop sending recruitment, stop sending problems. That's basically your 5 levels of awareness we just spoke about. Again, I'm not going to read through it all, obviously, but it's giving me this sort of draft version of a report, right? I can now take this report and send it again. I can get AI to create the emails to promote this report, which I'll do in a second.
Francesca wants a copy of the report. We haven't even offered it yet. I mean, that's how effective it is, Drew.
So gives me the report, gives me 5 emails to promote the report. I could then next week I can send this out right to my list. Say, look, I've got this report. Here's what it does. 7 ways to increase recruitment sales over the next 6 months. Do you want a copy? Go here and get it, right? And then I'm going to drive them back to what we call a landing page, right? Or lead capture, right? That's the next step, right? Lead capture basically is, here's the report. In exchange, we need your name, email address, and telephone number. Again, the same details that you gave to sign up to this very event that you're listening to right now, right? Same process. But we haven't mentioned, so we're coaches, right? We haven't mentioned coaching. We haven't mentioned recruitment. Again, this is a mistake that you're making right now. You talk too much about recruitment rather than the outcome that your prospects want, right? What they want is the things that your candidates do. So again, when we're using AI, we want to write things from that perspective, not from a recruitment business owner perspective. Again, if you want to check in, does that make sense? Give me yes, no in the chat box.
So if you ask us what we do, we say we help recruitment business owners generate more leads, make more placements, and earn more money. We don't say we're business coaches. A very close friend of Drew and I is a guy called Mike. He's an accountant. If you ask him what he does, he says this: I help small business owners reduce their tax bill by 5% per year. He's an accountant, but he talks about the outcome you're going to get from engaging him, not about he's an accountant who's going to help you with your tax returns, because you don't want that, but you are interested in reducing your tax bill each year. You are interested in generating more leads, making more placements, and earning more money. Talk about the outcome you're going to provide to your hiring manager, not about what you do, because they will buy the outcome. Not, I'm a recruiter, like all the other recruiters you've spoken to today. Again, if I can check in, if that makes sense. If you've got any questions, let me know. But first of all, just let me know if that makes sense, what we said there about talking about the outcome rather than what you actually do. Yeah,
okay,
Matt, yeah, great.
Quickly show these emails, right? Again, so they need tidying up, but it's giving me sort of the week's campaign worth of emails done in, whatever it was, 2 minutes, that's a report and emails done, right? A lot of you aren't putting as much content out in a couple of months, let alone it's taking me to do 2 minutes to do. So that's all done. I can then do that, and I'm gonna use it to get leads, right? So the next part of the after is irresistible offer is what we call lead capture, which is what we want to do is each of these emails I send them to a landing page, what we call a landing page that sorry, where's my notes gone?
So just going back to some of the things that have been posted, Peter. Yeah, absolutely right. So you send the report to your hiring manager before you even pitch what you do, 100%. Remember we said the sale starts before you meet them. So think about it for a second. Every other recruiter's cold calling, but you sent a report that can help solve their problem. And you're going to send a series of emails to follow up as well. You may even send a video of you talking to help with the relationship so they get to know you. Dan said, yeah, Dan, if you want to open up your mic and just ask this, please. I don't think we can answer this question. Sorry, go on, fire away, Dan. Yeah.
Yeah, I just obviously all you've really sort of used today is ChatGPT, and I just really wanted to see if there's been any other tools that you use. For example, we've got Copilot here. I do use ChatGPT, but I'm just wondering if this is kind of exclusive to ChatGPT, or if there are any other LLMs that are better at different tasks.
Yeah, I personally, I find when you train ChatGPT, I haven't found any better. There's some that need less training, let's say, from the off, because they're built for copyright or they're built for whatever. But I think for me, once I've trained ChatGPT, it works just as good as they work for all of the tasks, right? And it just, again, in terms of having different subscriptions for different things, that's why we sort of lean heavily on ChatGPT, and obviously it's the most popular as well.
Cool. Thank you.
That's not me saying anyone's better. It's just it's a personal thing.
Okay, great.
Cool. So just to explain, so then with there is an offer I just explained, and we have a lead capture, where we're driving traffic to a standalone page. And again, you all would have seen a page that looks like this, right? Where we're capturing the details, right? So Terry gave an example there. In fact, let me share my screen and show you one that we're probably going to send out next week. Cool. So it looked like this, right? Terry, so you can see that, right, Terry?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one, another report we did, or ChatGPT did. How recruitment designers are cutting out cold calling. I still in client placement box. Tick this, send a report, get the details. Once they give the details, these are going to be prospects that we're going to call for an appointment, right? So again, for you as a recruiter, you will never have to cold call again if you're using this method, because you're using your audience that you've got on email, LinkedIn, wherever you've got audience right now. You're using ChatGPT to create a report that they'll be interested in. You send out that report with emails that ChatGPT created as well. You drive them to a landing page that, again, we can get the copy written. So we have to build a landing page, but we can get the copy written by AI. Done. I'm going to give you a template to do this. You send it out. They're not in. Let's say send it to 1,000 people, 100 say yes to the report. You just call on those 100 people because they're interested in the solution that you provide, rather than trying to cold call the list of 1,000 people. Because when check in, does that make sense? Give us a yes or no in the chat box. I'm going to show you how to build this in just a second as well. Terry, anything you want to add to that?
Not at this stage, Drew.
Again, any questions, let us know. If anything's not clear, let us know as well. I do want to make sure we're on the same page here. All making sense? Yes, no, let us know. Any questions, let us know. Perfect. And the last step in this is this follow-up, right? So once someone's opted in, we want to make sure we're following up with them with telephone calls, emails, whatever. And we can use AI to make the phone calls in the first place as well. We're not really experts on that part of it yet, but we can do that. But you definitely want to be using AI to write the emails, come up with the copy that you're sending after they opt in for this. So again, I just want to check in if it makes sense, and we're sort of going to dive into creating these projects in ChatGPT. Then we'll wrap up. But any questions on this? Anything else? Let us know now. Before we dive into creating projects, I'm going to give you the instructions to do that as well. Terry, anything to add before we sort of dive into that?
Not at this stage, Drew. No.
Perfect. Awesome. So the way that you want to do this with ChatGPT, again, there are other options available. ChatGPT has just been the one that we're most familiar with, and it's worked best for us, right? You want to have different projects. So this is for the paid version, different projects for different tasks, right? So any set task that you've got in your business that you want done repeatedly, you want AI to handle. So this could be writing emails, it could be writing social media posts, it could be working as your assistant, helping you come up with better ideas. It could be, in fact, let me give you some of the ones that we've got. So we've got one for creating client magnets and ebooks. We've got one for creating our weekly trainings that we do for our clients. We've got one that's a content feeder that I'm going to show you in a moment. That's just for us giving our recordings of calls, recordings of so this could be for you, candidate calls, sales calls, any interactions you have with a client, you can put into here. We've got anything we want. Basically got one for writing a book. Like anything we want, you can create a project for any separate task. Right, I'm going to show the content feeder one first. This is one that I think everyone should have as a bare minimum. This is basically the project we use to train ChatGPT to speak like us, act like us, right? And I'm going to give you this prompt, right? So you create the content, create the folder, new project. You then want to give it a set of instructions. Right? I'm going to read these out to you, right? So this is the purpose of this: is dedicated Vault Store to store, analyze, and extract insights from sales calls, project conversations, DMs, client exchanges, and internal training sessions. This will help us understand real-time buyer language, sharpen messaging across all assets, create emotionally resonant, high-converting content, track objections, patterns, market shifts, refine and scale, internal IP, teaching frameworks, how to use. Whenever I have a transcript from a sales call or a triage call, so triage call is what we call like a pre-sales call, basically a qualifying call, a DM or email conversation from a prospect or client, a voice note or summary of a conversation, a client message from WhatsApp, School, or another platform. So School is what we use, just our internal messaging with our clients, transcript or notes from a training, coaching session or workshop, paste it below with a quick label, i.e. triage call from change notes from blah, blah. With what you'll do with the entry, right? Extract the top pains, goals, objections, emotional hooks, identify content ideas, email angles, or sales scripts, track recurring patterns or themes, flag language we can reuse in future campaigns, spot internal assets, frameworks, or concepts, worth turning into tools or content. Let's build a vault turns conversations into conversions, right? So that's just a set of instructions that the project has. Again, someone check in if that makes sense. Give me a yes or no in the chat box. And all we then do, yes, there is a chance I can share the instructions. I will do that. Sorry, I lost 2 hours just there. But yeah, we'll happy to do
Francesca.
Happy to do that. Yeah, Francesca, happy to do that. So then all we do is once I've got a recording or whatever, it'll just get pasted into here. Right? And as simple as that. I do nothing else with this project other than feed it information. So it's over time, it's gained an intelligence of not just how I speak, how Terry speaks, but also how our clients, importantly, how our clients speak as well. So for you, it's going to get the pains and frustrations that your clients have in their voice, right? Sometimes we can say it in our voice and it gets lost in translation. We've got it in their voice, how they talk about their pains, frustrations, desires, goals when it comes to their department or business, their frustrations with other recruitment firms, their frustrations with particular candidates, whatever. We're going to get all of that information, feed it into ChatGPT. It's got almost like a big brain that we're feeding into. Again, someone check in, does that make sense? Give me a yes or no in the chat box. Any questions on that, let me know as well. And Terry, anything you want to add?
Yeah, just a small thing that you mentioned there. You talk about emotion. Sorry, I can't remember how you worded it, Drew. What was the context of the emotion in the prompt?
Was it about the prompt or what I said?
Yeah, I said create emotionally resonates high converting content. Yeah, I just wanted to use that as an illustration to the information that we're giving AI. Look at that language. Sharpen messages across all assets. Create emotionally resonates high converting content. That's a lot of information we're giving to AI. But there's a reason for that, because what we know is the more detailed the information we give to AI, the better response you're going to get back. So we are going to share this with you, but you really want to be thinking about that. And something that Francesca mentioned earlier, I just wanted to illustrate to Francesca the sort of information that we're feeding into AI to get the response that we want. I'll repeat it: the more information you give AI, the better feedback you're going to get from AI. And the thing with emotion is really important because when you communicate, if you can tap into the individual's emotion, you get a much better response. So actually stating that in the prompt is going to make quite a difference. Thanks for that, Drew.
Let me share this Google Doc with you guys while they're on the call. Terry, do you want to go to a few people so I do this? Just to get them.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'm just going to a few people. The question I'm going to ask is the same as before. Biggest takeaway so far. Inez, I'm going to come to you because I haven't spoken to you for ages. I'm going to come to you, Inez, and also Darren. Just love to hear your biggest takeaway. But Inez, first of all, Darren and Corey. Inez, biggest takeaway.
Hi, guys. Nice to see you again.
And you.
Been a while. Biggest takeaway. It's a nice reminder of what you've been teaching us over the past years anyway. So that's great. And I think it's just a nice add-on to see what you can do with AI. So yeah, that's my biggest takeaway. And it's great to see that the theory and the basics haven't changed. So we're still on the right path.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Anne. It's great talking to you. I think Corey is the person I was going to next, and then Darren. Corey, biggest takeaway for you? Corey, just to let you know, if you're there, your mic's not on. No, Darren, I'm going to come to you, sir. Biggest takeaway for you, for Darren, and then Deborah Young.
I'd say for me, as someone who hasn't used any AI like until yesterday, just the amount that you can do with, excuse me, Chat GPT, and also some people have mentioned some other ones which as I've been listening, I've kind of had a look at. So you guys mentioned placement bots, someone mentioned Fathom. I didn't realise there was, as well as Chat GPT and the power of that, the amount of other AI tools that we can use to enhance kind of, our offering and assist us. So I think that I found that probably the most well, I say it's all new to me, so it's all most important, I think. But yeah, just how much we can actually do with Chat GPT, rather than just rewriting documents, which I'll be honest with you is all I thought it was for before I'd ever used it. So yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, and I must confess, when I was a recruiter, the one thing I hated doing was writing interview notes. It was the worst part of the job, in my opinion. I absolutely hated it with a passion. And what a lot of the guys are doing now is they're using AI to transcribe the notes from the candidate they've interviewed. They're then putting the job spec into AI and putting the candidate notes into AI, and then saying to AI, write up the notes to make this candidate the best candidate for the role. All that's now done for you, and it's done in seconds. The time that I'd spend half a day writing up notes, and I used to. Worst part of the job.
And that's what I'm still currently doing as well. So
yeah,
it's very impressive.
Yeah, really no need for that. Excellent. Thanks, Darren. Deborah, I'm going to come to you next. Again, Deborah, just to let you know if you didn't know you. Yeah. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, I just joined, so I really don't have anything to add.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I didn't realise. I'm going to come to Chris Nightingale.
Hi there.
Hi, buddy. Yeah, biggest takeaway for you?
I'm just, I think I've been using it for a while now, AI in many different forms, and I think the key thing that I'm taking away right now is just joining up all the dots. I think it's really important to utilize all the tools we've got at our disposal now. So yeah, really seeing how the capability, when it's used to its maximum potential, is really gonna drive the leads and hopefully the growth we need now. So yeah, really, really great content, guys, and excited to kind of listen to what's next.
Yeah. And look, the key thing for everybody is go and get chat. As I say, the one we're talking about is a paid version, and just put some information in, because for everybody, there's no point getting all this knowledge and thinking, oh, that's really useful, like I say, that's going to work, and they're not doing anything with it. So I'd really encourage you to go and get chat and have a play with it, put the information in, see you get on. But I really appreciate your feedback, Chris. Thank you. Paul Grafton. Paul and I worked for the same company many years ago, 20 plus years ago. I was only 7 at the time. I think Paul was probably about 5. Isn't that right?
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah. No, it was a long time ago. Good to see you again. I think for me, I think the AI piece is something which I've not really appreciated how much you can tailor to the needs of your own business. And also, I just think it's good for ad copy, or it's good for this. It's the fact that, as you said earlier, it's about thinking about your key stakeholders and your clients, and how and what they are feeling and what their problems are, and then using that as a sales and marketing technique to get into those people, rather than talking about what you are and who you are. It's about looking at the problems they have and using AI to bridge that. And I think that's a really, really important takeaway for me.
Yeah, really good point there. Yeah, I can't emphasize that enough. And you only need to go. And by the way, if you're creating a new website now and you're like, I'm not sure what to do, let me go and look at my competitors' websites, look at their copy, and I'll do mine similar. Think about that for a minute. First of all, you're making the assumption that somebody else's website is effective and working, and in most cases you have no idea. Now you can say to AI, I want to write some copy for my website. I want it to be, if you use language, I want it to be benefit-led, about how the hiring manager will benefit from working with the likes of us. The copy will completely different. It won't talk about how long you've been in business. It won't talk about your mission statement. It's going to talk about them, their challenges, and what you can do to help them overcome their challenges. So I know, Paul, you work within HR. So I'm just trying to do this again off the top of my head. Something along the lines of, no doubt you appreciate the importance of HR rather in any business, and not having the right HR team in place can be expensive. And I mean expensive from a legal point of view, and you really don't want to get that right. But if you don't have the right HR in place, it could cost you. Go here and get this free report and discover the 7 essential things you should do before engaging an HR recruiter or whatever. I'm doing this all off the top of my head, but you see how you've completely changed your website. Yeah. It's not about you, it's about the problem they're having. Get this free report that helps solve some of those problems.
Well, interesting enough, I've just put something like that out on LinkedIn through AI.
Right.
And
Right.
and you know, I've noticed that we're getting a lot more traction as well already just by doing these snippets. So it's definitely working.
Excellent, excellent. And yeah, Paul, keep doing it as well. And for everybody, remember this: you haven't got the business that you want because the potential clients who could work with you have never heard of you. But some of your competitors right now are posting every single day. And some of you are saying, I better not post every day because I might piss some people off. I'm not going to email every day and piss some people off. Your competitors are, who are your hiring managers like to remember? And here's the thing about emails. I'm kind of digressing here, Jerry. I do apologise. Most of the emails you send don't get opened. So let's say you make a decision, well, I'm going to send an email twice a month. So in the year, you're going to send 24 emails to your potential clients. But what we know is about half of those emails they never see. So in the year, they're going to see 12 from you. But I say, to hell with that, I'm going to email 7 times a week, every single day. So over a year, they're not going to see all my emails, but there's a good chance they're going to see 150, maybe 170 emails from me, but 12 from you. What do you think they'll like to remember? And if you're concerned about somebody getting pissed off with your emails and with your posts, because if you get an email, I got one the other day about cladding for motor cars. I know nothing about cars. I know nothing about cladding. I don't know why they sent it to me, but I'm peeved by it. Just unsubscribe. That's the end of it. So your clients who don't like what you say, they're just going to unsubscribe. That's absolutely fine. If you post and they don't like what you say, they will disconnect from you on LinkedIn or they will stop following you. That's absolutely fine. It'll make no difference to your life whatsoever. But if people aren't doing that, you may want to consider, well, actually, I must be doing something right here because I haven't lost all my followers and I haven't lost all my connections. So clearly I'm doing something right. But if you then think, I'm not here to please everybody, so some people are never going to like what I'm saying, and that's okay too. Let me just finish with this. I'm repeating myself, I know. The sale starts before you actually start talking to them. It starts with the marketing. That's why you need to be doing that now. Back to you, Drew.
Again, just to remind you that if you do want to sort of get these product instructions and the prompts that we use as well, you can book a 50-minute call with us. Go to makemoreplacements.com/talk. That's makemoreplacements.com/talk. Book a 15-minute fast track to more placements call there. We can give you some additional training plus the resources that we mentioned as well. So if you haven't already booked, go there. So that the one I just showed you was the content feeder project. Someone's asked you need to have the paid version of ChatGPT. You need the paid version to do the projects. You can get some of the results without the paid version. You just have to. It's almost like the prompts need without projects. The prompts need to be so much better, right? So projects make the prompts less important. Does that make sense? So this is one again that you all should have. So we've called it the Make More Placements Hub. You call it, whatever you want to call it. But this is basically our. In fact, I'll show you the instructions. They might explain what it does more than me. So basically, this is the instructions for the project. You are a dedicated business growth partner with 10 years experience helping me, Terry Edwards, build and run Make More Placements, a coaching and consulting business for recruitment and search owners who want to win more clients, charge higher fees, secure more retained and exclusive roles, fill more of their open roles, grow profitably without sacrificing family and freedom. Right. So these are the sort of, we talk about like the problem aware versus solution aware. What we offer is coaching, right? But the problem that we solve are these, right? These are things that our clients always want. Before they think about coaching, training, whatever, they want more clients. They want higher fees. They want more retainers. They want to fill roles, and they want more profitability, and they want to spend more time with their family and friends. More freedom, right? That's every single one of our prospects want that, even if they're not actively thinking about hiring a service like us. Guess one chicken. Does that make sense? Give us a yes or no in the chat box, right? Because it's important that we grasp the difference when we're given projects instructions of not what we do, which would be, coaching, training, consulting, that sort of stuff. It's about what the outcome we give. Your mission: help me brainstorm ideas, set ambitious goals, track progress, and create high converting assets that speak directly to the pains, desires, and day-to-day frustrations of recruitment search owners. This isn't just a project. It's my secret weapon for shaping ideas, refining strategies, and getting practical proven results. Your role and mindset: act as a trusted business growth consultant, strategist, or creative partner, a devil's advocate when needed, challenging me to think deeper, a set of fresh eyes, bringing new ideas and uncovering blind spots. Speak to me like a mate, direct, honest, and a bit cheeky when it fits. Project goals: every time I come to you, your focus is to help me generate actionable ideas for new campaigns, content offers, refine these into clear next steps and measurable goals, create story-driven, engaging content, emails, post scripts that converts recruitment business owners on a gut level, track and refine progress. Well, so I'm not going to read it all, but it just means that we can go. So this project basically, I'm getting the important bit here. So you're starting to conversation, emotionally engaging tone, like a mate who's an expert. Use personal stories and real-world metaphors. Challenge me, don't just agree. No corporate speak, no generic templates. Keep it tight, short sentences, short paragraph. No dashes unless they're part of correct spelling. No emojis. Make it feel personal and written today, not last month. Track and track and refinement in every project or idea will be mapped out. What's the idea? What's the pain it solves? What's the transformation? Broken into steps. What's the first step? What's the next? Right. So we've built this sort of personal marketing assistant or business growth consistent we can use in our business, and we can just go and ask it any questions we want. Like so for example, if I to book 100 right, so again, generic question, if I want to book 100 sales calls next month, what can I do? And again, it's based on all the feedback it's gotten over us and give us some ideas, right? You want 100 sales calls next month? Here's how to do it. First, let's get the maths right. 100 sales calls divided by 4, 25 calls per week. That means booking 5 calls per day. Totally doable. With his system does have lifting. And you can see it's giving me. So this is based on the strategies that it already knows that we use. The pair page of the strategies that we use already. It's given us so let's do more live events like this. Again, this just helps us get a lot of appointments this month as well. Daily outreach. So it's giving us. It's not just writing generic stuff. It's actually giving us information we can use back in our business to grow. Again, so want to check in if that makes sense. Give us a yes or no in the chat box. Terry, anything you want to add to that while it's just giving me the feedback?
Yeah, just that. Yeah, even though I know this stuff, and you can ask with the right information. You can ask chat the exact same questions. And here's the question for you: if your calendar was full of inbound meetings next month, how would that change how you show up for work? If you're showing up for work in a certain way right now, and we know that majority of recruiters right now are frustrated and morale's low because they think that business is hard and people aren't recruiting. But we're working with recruiters who don't feel that way at all. And we're working with recruiters who never ever cold call. In fact, if you're qualified to work with us, we'd say to you, please don't cold call and be a pest. We'd encourage you to be a welcome guest. How would you show up for work if you had these inbound meetings in the next month or so? What difference would that make to your life and to your family and the time you're spending at work? Most recruitment business owners I know didn't set up their business to work crazy hours and to come home at the end of the month frustrated and pissed because they haven't got the business that they wanted and disappointed because they worked a number of job orders and then they get the phone call, putting these on hold or whatever. That wasn't why you set up in business. And most of you are very good recruiters. You just don't know how to get the meetings. And we can show you, and AI can show you exactly how to get those meetings. But nothing will change until you change. So if you're pissed and frustrated about, sorry, Drew, just to finish what's going on right now in your business, at some level, you're allowing that to happen because you can change it anytime you want to.
So again, I've put the project in. I've put a template project instructions for this in the Google Doc that I shared in the chat as well. I was going to show you one more that we've got working for us as well. This is a generic one. This is a content vault. So again, these are two that I think everybody needs. We've got one for daily emails as well. So that means I can literally give it a what I did yesterday. So let's say, today. I give it basic prompts, but because it's got the instructions in it, it's gonna give me a thing. So again, I'll read it out. This afternoon, I ran a live call for a group of sharp recruitment search owners. Topic: how to win clients on AI without sounding like a robot or spamming LinkedIn with beige content. Here's what most recruiters get wrong: they either don't use AI, or because blah blah, they use it badly, or they over automate and lose human touch completely. Here's what we covered today: how to use AI to sound like more like you, how to build an entire client interaction campaign in 30 minutes or less, how to turn cold connections into meetings. One recruiter messaged me right after the session, blah blah blah. Right. So again, it's going to come up with this content for us. Again, I can show you the project instructions for this. Again, similar to the last one, except for your mission is to help me craft story-driven, emotionally engaging emails that build real connections, spark replies, get clicks, get recruitment designers to move from cold to curious and from curious to a paying client. Here's how conversational tone, I can make you know their stuff, no stiff corporate nonsense, just real talk, real stories, real insights. Again, this is based on our style. Yours might be different. Hook them in fast. Each email will start with something that stops the scroll, a bold idea, a relatable moment, or a personal story they can see themselves in. Right. Again, I'm not going to read it all, but we have different project instructions for different functions. Right. So I've got one for emails, one for asking questions to, one for the vault. We've got one for creating client magnets that I showed you earlier on in this call. So client magnets and ebooks. One for making webinars and workshops like this. No, and they've all got their own separate set of instructions. They might start similar, but they then change based on the specifics of what we want them to do. Right. Again, just want to check in. Does that make sense? Give us a yes or no in the chat box. And Terry, anything you want to add to that?
Not at this stage, Drew. No.
Again, let us know if it makes sense. Any questions, let us know as well. Cool. Terry, do you want to go to sort of 2 or 3 people to get their thoughts, feedback? So
Yeah. Paul Rayner, I haven't spoken to you. I'd like to come to you, Paul. Love to get your thoughts, feedback, and biggest takeaway.
Yeah, hi Terry and Drew. The big
Hi.
takeaway for me has been the sheer amount of information that you can give GPT so that it can help you. So it's really all about putting more information in so that you can get the maximum results out of it.
Yeah, good point. Absolutely. Yeah. Excellent. Thanks, Paul. I'll go to Matt next. Matt Langford, and then Ronan O'Sullivan. So Matt, biggest takeaway? Matt, if you're there, just let you know your mic's not on. No. Ronan, come to you, your biggest takeaway?
Like I said, there's a lot to take in there. But certainly what seems to me is that we're starting to move towards agentic AI. And a lot of what you've given us here is what we still know as traditional AI. It's prompt and response, prompt and response, prompt and response. And it's like you're giving us some instructions now on how to start that step into agentic AI, which is letting the AI manage the process for us without our intervention being needed.
Interesting, yeah.
But it's interesting. I'm actually working with a startup here, and our project is to create agentic Ronan. So what I'm trying to do is recreate a version of me that will do all my first screen interviews. I work in IT, so it's very easy to codify if someone is suitable or not for a job.
Yeah.
So my goal over the next year is to create a version of me, fully me, video me. If you were on a call with me now, it looked like I was there with you, who will essentially screen all my first pass candidates, so that when I show up on Monday morning, my agent has been interviewing all week, 24/7, all the interviews. So everyone that contacts me gets interviewed, and I have the list of 5 or 6 candidates then on Monday morning that I should be deep diving with.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I see it going.
Yeah, somebody just said, is this really Rowan speaking now?
This is me.
We don't really know though, do we? That's a good point. Thank you very much for that. Really appreciate that. Tracy Ann, love to hear your biggest takeaway, and then I'll come to you tomorrow. Again, Tracy Ann, if you're there, your mic's off. No. Tamara, come to you. Biggest takeaway?
Well, this is like my third class with you guys, so I'm really loving it. But pretty much just stop overthinking and just like talk to AI like it's your assistant. Just be smart with your prompts and just tell it what you want to do, but also don't be too vague where it just gives you like dumb stuff. So like tell them specifically, I want you to do X, Y, and Z and let it produce what it's supposed to produce for you.
Yeah. And the other thing is, well, if you do get a response, you think that's a bit vague. Actually, say to it, "That's a bit vague. Can you be a bit more specific in this response?" And just do it again, and it will give you an answer. And even you can do it again and again and again. So just because you get a response, don't think you have to accept it. Just challenge it and go, "Nah, that's not good enough. I want you to be a lot more specific." And you could even say the areas you want to be specific in to get it tight up on its response. But yeah, it's a really good point. And this is for everybody. Don't overthink it. Just ask the questions and tweak the responses. And as I say, just ask again if you're not happy with the response. Thank you very much for joining us, Drew. Really appreciate your input as always, buddy. Much appreciated. That's it for now. If you want to have a talk to us, Drew's giving you the link. I'm looking for it now. That's makemoreplacements.com/talk. Makemoreplacements.com/talk. And book a 10-minute call with one of our team. And we can help you with any of you with your specific challenges. Again, thank you for joining us. Until next time, folks, take care, take action, be relentless. Cheers, folks.
Hey guys. Bye.